Hey man, how you been? Dude, I'm so fucking stressed. Fucking payroll, you have no idea. Like, how am I gonna pay these people week after week? Like, what if I lose a client? What if something goes wrong? It must be nice to have a business with all those clients and all that money coming in. We're in the money. We're in the money. Like, holy shit, what if my biggest client leaves me? I would be so fucked. How the fuck would I pay all these bills in this team? Like, what if I lose my fucking team? What's up, guys? It's Frankie here. This video is all about the success and the dark side. Stuff that I really wanted to make a video about the things that nobody talks about, the things that we all worry about and that keep us up at night. There's this expectation that once you become successful in business, like, it's just going to be all rainbows and butterflies and people high-five you down the street and you're going to the Playboy Mansion, you're collecting your 2 Comma Club award, you're just cruising down the street in a Lambo looking cool. And the reality is, I find a lot of times, like, when you get in there in this real world stuff, like, it's actually a lot more stressful. I've been fortunate enough to help a lot of people who told me, you know, through my help or whatever, they've had the best month they've ever had. And for different people, there's different levels. And often when they hit it, they're surprised to find out nobody high-fives you on the street. They're just as stressed out about it as they were before, and now they're worried about losing a team and payroll. So I want to talk a little bit about what to do in this video, and for those of you guys, so that you're prepared for it, because this is like totally fucking normal, and the more people realize it's totally normal, the better this will be. By the way, for those of you guys who don't know me already, my name is Frankie Finn, wrote this best-selling book on running an agency. You can find that on Amazon. Also, built 3 of my own agencies up to 100 plus clients and helped thousands of people worldwide to live this more beach, less laptop lifestyle. Let's get into it. So imagine, for example, we're talking to a business owner that is making $400,000 a month incoming, and their expenses are $320,000. And so the owner is keeping $80,000 a month before taxes, of course. And on paper, that's $1 million a year take home, like a little bit less than that, but pretty close to $1 million a year take home. You would assume that every business owner who has $1 million a year in take home is like just living the dream and everything is amazing. But in reality, they're very aware of the $320,000 a month expenses, and they think, if I just have one bad month or something were to happen, like, this could all go to shit at a moment's notice. So I'm here to tell you that the worry that you experience as you up level is totally normal. And I'll tell you the things that people tend to worry about the most. Okay. One of those is, if a big client or a series of clients leaves, what if a big source of revenue just packs our stuff up and sends our letter today and says, sorry, we can't work together? Tell you another thing that, and this is probably the thing that personally stressed me the most out. Payroll. How am I going to pay these people? And then you think, what happens if I can't make payroll? I'm going to have to fire somebody. I'm going to have to let somebody go. And by the way, some of these things are things that we regularly talk about inside of our Wolfpack Mastermind, is when you up level, is knowing how to handle these kind of things. It is dangerous to go it alone. So one of the things that you'll often find yourself worrying about is payroll. Like, worried about, even if you're making $80,000 a month, you're like, man, all it would take is 1 or 2 bad months. And all of a sudden, what if our income drops down to $250,000? Now I'm going to have to put $70,000 a month into the business. How many months could I go like that? And so you tend to look at payroll, at least how I looked at it in my head, in terms of like runway and amount of time that it buys you. And then another thing that'll stress you out is the idea of team leaving. So you've worked hard to build this team, to have this system, to have these people help you out. Man, it would really suck. Like, for me, Mark, who does the editing for these videos, and Karen, who posts them and shares a lot of our stuff on social, like, if they left, like, it'd be pretty fucking heartbreaking for me. So I wanted to show you guys, like, team leaving is a thing that, like, really, really, really stresses people out and really, really worries. And so what I wanted to kind of talk about today is, like, what do you actually do about this, right? So the first thing that I mentioned earlier is that the worry is normal. right? So a lot of times what people do is they try and not worry, and I'm here to tell you, like, that's a losing game. And I found it is much better to accept that you do worry at least some of the time, okay? And this is why I think, like, more than anything, the most important thing you can do in this game is to have some kind of mindset ritual to deal with it. So I'll tell you about a little bit about what I do personally. I'm just going to grab some stuff right over here. So one of the things that I do every morning, and I think it's important that when you do mindset rituals, that you don't want to spend 4 or 5 hours a day doing mindset rituals. They're just to prepare you to do the things that must be done. But one of the things that helps me is I have a gratitude journal, and I have literally, you can see my kids drawing on it, but I literally have pages and pages and pages of stuff that I'm grateful for, so that when problems show up, I remember, like, I got it pretty good. Like, we had a situation the other day, to give you a real example, is I'd been doing my gratitude journal, and our second car, like, just started having problems. And where we live in Mexico, it's like, it's a real fucking pain in the ass, right? It's not like just bring it to the shop. It's like, it's complex. We live in the middle of nowhere. And it was like, fuck, like, you just know you got, like, a bunch of hassles and a bunch of money to spend. That's kind of, like, unexpected and things like that. And my wife, Ilka, came to me and was like, man, fuck this fucking car, blah, blah, blah. And I just finished gratitude journaling, and, like, I could see the problem, but I also thought, like, man, like, we have a lot of good shit happening for us. Like, I live in paradise. I got a big ass fucking house. My kids are healthy. You know, I got an awesome business. I got a following. I get to help people. I get to make an impact. I get to live life on my own terms. I'm healthy personally, things like that. It wouldn't be possible without this. So I'm a big believer in this. And also in here, once a week, I do wins. I focus on where I'm winning. By the way, if you train your mind to see wins in places you're already winning, what you'll start to find is that you're actually winning all the time. And if you're like most people in business, you're always looking at that next thing. And so it's almost like the horizon where, like, for me, what happened, I used to tell myself a story that I would be happy when I got to 10,000 a month, when I got to 20,000, 50,000, 100,000, the numbers change over time. And what that led to me was I spent 99% of the journey being miserable, feeling inadequate, feeling like I had not arrived. And then I would hit my goal after a long period of time, and I'd pat myself on the back and feel awesome for about, like, maybe 10 minutes. And then I'd set a bigger goal and I'd go back to being miserable. Well, now I focus on, like, where am I winning now? Where am I happy now? What is going right now? And train your mind to find those things. And instead of, like, you don't necessarily, like, the worry goes away, but it's the age-old story of which wolf wins? Well, the one you feed. Do you feed the wolf of fear, or do you feed the wolf of faith? And it's your own mind, by the way. You're going to imagine a future. You're either going to imagine positive things happening to you and your business and your team and your people, or you're going to imagine shitty things. Neither of those have to be true, but I think it's much more enjoyable to imagine positive things. Second thing I do is I do a vision board. So anything I'm working towards, by the way, has a visual picture. I start, like, obviously you can see I got pictures of my family. So that to me is the most important thing. But in doing so, I'm training my mind to focus on what I do want. And by the way, this is backed with action, so it's not all like pure woo-woo where you're just sitting meditating, imagining you have it. I do some of that. But I also focus on, like, what am I actually going to do to make dreams, goals, things actually happen. So I believe that the antidote to all of this worry is not to stop worrying, is to accept when you do worry, and then focus on mindset ritual to repeatedly train yourself. And this is what you're really doing here, is you're training yourself to think and act like you want to. And it takes practice, by the way. Like, anybody who's like ever, like, I got my kids right now, they're like learning to ride a bike. And what happens when you learn how to ride a bike? Do you get on it, or are you a master? Well, my kids found out the hard way that mostly you just fall down, right? Like, that's what happened. And so you will fall down in this. Repeatedly. The goal of this is not to not fall down and get back into the worry. It's to pick yourself out of it repeatedly until riding a bike just feels like the most natural thing in the world. And over time, you will train your mind to be in a positive place, to see the good things happening, to see the wins, and to see possibility. And what will happen is you'll still worry, but it'll get a lot smaller. It'll become like 5% of the time worry instead of like 50, 60, 70, 80%. So I wanted to make this video because I think it's one of those things, like, nobody really fucking talks about in our space, but it's real shit, man. Like, when you hit your biggest month ever, I hate to break it to you, but you won't actually feel all that different on the inside. Nobody will high five you in the street. Like, strangers won't, like, ask for your autograph. You won't have the Lambo and the 2 Comma Club award. You'll just find that you have a business and responsibility and things like that. And one of the best things you can do is train your mind to see the positive and the benefits of it, and realize we're blessed to be able to do the things we do. And what will happen is you'll start to see your blessings, and then whatever you focus upon, like, will expand in your life. So I wanted to share this because I feel like nobody talks about this, and I hope that's helpful. It makes a difference to one of you guys out there. And just to realize that, like, you're fucking normal. New levels mean new devils. As you up level, what changes is not whether or not you worry. What changes is what you worry about. So in the beginning, like when I was just me, my company was me, I worried about how the fuck am I going to pay my bills, my rent, my food, those kind of things, survival kind of worries. And then eventually I reached past survival, and you eventually reach a stage where you got a real team, a thriving business, you got clients, stuff, like moving pieces. And I didn't have less worry, I just changed what I worry about. What if a big client leaves? What if I can't make payroll? What if a team member leaves? And things like that. So the point of this is not to not be human, but it's to manage your humanity and become better at seeing positive and wins and things that are going right. And those things will expand in your life and become the predictable, normal kind of thing. So this is kind of like an advanced mindset kind of thing, but again, not enough people talk about it. So I hope that's helpful to you guys. If you guys like this video, drop a comment and I'll do more of these style videos. And if you don't, I won't. So much love. Appreciate you guys. May the force be with you. Hey guys, if you like this video, you may also like my best-selling book here, Beyond the Agency Box. It is all about scaling a digital marketing agency while eliminating meetings and phone calls. We actually sell our stuff phoneless. We don't have any client meetings, and we also hire our team entirely without meeting phone calls, which allows us to, actually kind of live a life. I've laid out the entire blueprint in everything you need to know, getting clients, onboarding, setting expectations, scaling, building a team, you name it. It has been a bestseller on Amazon now for over 5 straight years, but now you can get it even cheaper than you can get it on Amazon. So I can't tell you the exact price because it may change when this video is released, but there should be a link to it below, either in the description of the video or as well as a pinned comment. So if you're interested in that, check out that video and you can get a copy for super cheap.